Alrighty. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Scorpio Esports channel as we get ready for another enthralling round of the Scorpio Super Formula Series here at the historic high banks of Daytona International Speedway. Built in 1953 using dirt dug up from what is now known as Lake Lloyd, this 31-degree banked behemoth has stood the test of time and delivered some of the greatest moments in racing history. From Dan Gurney crossing the line to win the inaugural Daytona Continental on just his starter motor, to Ken Miles and Lloyd Ruby picking up the first endurance win for the Ford GT40 in the inaugural 1966 running of the Daytona 24-hour. Or how about the 2014 Corvette Civil War, the monumental battle between sister cars that came right down to the wire in a photo finish. And of course, let's not forget Connor Zilisch, who became one of the youngest ever winners of the Rolex in 2024 at just 17 years and 191 days old. If circuits could talk, Daytona certainly would have a lot to say. So let's find out what story it has to write for us today. But before we head down for qualifying, let's take a look back at our race recap from Fuji. It would be Larson to set the benchmark for one lap pace, as he narrowly took pole position by just 12 thousandths of a second over AMS Super S2K, and would get out to an early lead for all of about 10 laps. Class was in session at Fuji, as both AMS drivers would practically redefine the term smooth is fast, managing their tires to run twice as long as anyone else in the field, and going on to secure yet another 1-2 finish as Larson held on to third place over a hard-charging Supa. Further back in the field, Payme would make his return to the series, filling in for an absent Alex in the Scorpio camp, and bringing home a top 8 finish despite finding the wall just past midway point of the race. Looks like we are still a few moments out from qualifying here, so folks, take this time to sit back, relax, and should be a very exciting one for us here today. In practice, we had, I believe it was, goodness gracious, we had 6 drivers within just about half a second of each other. And at a circuit where slipstream is at a premium, expect this race to be a very close one up at the front. Another quick mention I would like to give a quick shout out to, over in the IRL racing side for the Scorpio camp, Charlie and Nathan both made IRL starts today, competing in their respective series. Nathan competing in Legends Cup, and Charlie making his first IRL racing start in a BMW touring car. Actually managing to come home 7th after just 2 days of testing. So congratulations to both of them. We wish them the best of luck, and the practice of sim to reality working an absolute treat for them. We can't wait to see how they get on. I've just been told we're going to give driver running late 2 more minutes to try to join up. So don't go anywhere, folks. We will be back in just a few moments. Qualifying at Daytona coming up. looks like that one driver's going to end up missing qualifying, so we will be getting underway here now. Qualifying in the daytime here at Daytona, but the race will be a sunset into night race like it was last season, so that we'll see how much that affects these drivers in terms of the ever-changing track conditions. Larson was fastest in practice earlier today, but it was very, very close between himself, S2K, Ryan, Alex, and I believe Payme and Gramenos were up there as well. So it should be a very, very tightly contested battle up at the front. And let's not forget the wind direction and speed also going to be playing a factor in the events here today. A complete 180-degree direction change from what these drivers were dealing with in practice. So a few spots where that will cause create the biggest difference for them. Going to be a little bit faster through this section here as you see them come out onto the banking here in the oval turns 1 and 2. But perhaps the biggest change for these drivers that they will have to face is this next braking zone. Oh, I say braking zone coming up. The bus stop chicane here at Daytona, or the Le Mans chicane, as some people will insist on calling it. Very, very high speed was being taken at just a blip of the throttle, a tap of the brake by Larson earlier in practice. Absolutely flying through that section of track. Of course, this time last season, Larson wasn't even competing. Excuse me, sorry. Larson wasn't competing in the Scorpio Super Formula Series yet. Didn't turn up until the midway point of the season in Austria. So it will be very exciting to see where he stacks up compared to the rest of the field, who already have at least one race under their belts here, even if it was before all of the setup restrictions that were put in place after Season 1 for this season. So right now it is names to keep an eye out for. Obviously Larson, S2K, fast as always. Supa looked to be decent in practice. The top 7 or 8 cars were all very close together. As always, no slipstream, no draft effects off any of these cars in qualifying. They do still need to worry about physical contact, but as long as they aren't being distracted by their sight lines, they will be good to go here. It looked like Larson was a little bit wide through the bus stop, and that's where you see him pick up the half-second penalty, as S2K also picked up one on his first flying lap. So we will see who takes provisional pole here after these first lap times come in. S2K currently is second up, but about 2 seconds down off of what we saw in practice conditions. Wackadilly with a clean run through the bus stop. No time penalty for him. He jumps up to, was second, now third. Ryan was second, now third. Vader has found his way into second position, just 48 thousandths of a second off S2K, but will go for a spin out of turn 1. He'll need to reset and try to go again. Let's run on board with S2K here as he exits the infield road course, now up onto the banking, 31 degrees. It is all about maintaining a smooth wheel through this section here. Throttle pinned to the floor, over 180 miles an hour. How much brake does he use here? Just a dab of it, and in the second half, that first kink into the bus stop was flat out for him. But it looked like the lap time was a little bit down on his personal best. Now he should pick up a little bit of time here because he doesn't have a time penalty to contend with. So we'll see what this sort of lap time this drops him. He's able to drop down here. Is over the line, a 28.9. Round about 7/10 pickup without that time penalty. Gramenos now to top of the board by 46 thousandths of a second over S2K. Ryan puts himself up to the third. Vader is still has been demoted to fourth. Alex has crossed the line, puts himself up to fifth at a 29.3. As that was, someone was stopped in the middle of the road there. What on earth just happened? Are we able to go back and look? We're going to try that again. It sounds like that might have been Supa. I just barely caught it. We're going to try to catch that one more time. And it was just Supa went for a spin out of turn one, nowhere that Ryan could go. Or Alex could go, excuse me. As Gramenos now top, he was still top of the board. And just 3.5 minutes remaining in qualifying. Or sorry, it was 4 minutes remaining in qualifying. My apologies. S2K over the line to start a new flying lap. And here you see this Ryan sporting a custom paint scheme of his, still the same AMS livery but recolored. He said that this was going to be a special livery for him that he's running in all of the North American rounds of the championship. And you saw him running the high line in the back end of the oval. Should allow him to get a few more mile an hour across the line to start the lap. We'll see how much of an effect that has for him in terms of chasing the lap time. As Ricardo, I did notice it, so don't worry. Ricardo has gone top of the board, 28.8. Larson now takes it away from him, a 28.6. Fastest laps were down into the 27s in practice, but that was also at a later time of day. So track would have been cooler, a little bit grippier for the tires. And of course, let's not forget the wind direction was completely different as well. It is now a full tailwind into the bus stop. As the chat raises a great point, this is a very good qualifying session so far for the Foxhound group, and in desperate need of a good result here. S2K puts himself back up onto the front row, just 53 thousandths of a second off Larson, and just over 2 minutes remaining. So he'll get realistically one more shot at this if he wants a proper push lap. So we'll use this opportunity to cool down the tires and go for it one more time. So Ricardo's still P3, Gramenos now into P4. Ryan ahead, now running in 5th. Vader currently in the 6th position, the 3rd Foxhound car on the grid today. As I believe Alex, one of the higher running, the second highest running Scorpio car, that honor goes to Gramenos, leading the way for the Scorpio group. As Rez looks to have gone for a spin, and we will jump on board with S2K as he exits the bus stop, a 10th up for now. So we'll see if he's able to hold on to it. He will get back around to the line in time for one more flying lap. Catching up to Grez as they go into turn 1. S2K over the line and takes the net pole position by just about a 10th of a second over Larson. And he is still going at it, trying to hunt down and improve on that lap time. Payme improves Not into the top 8, however, as time will expire in just a few seconds. S2K 2/10 up already on this lap. Larson is in the pits, as are Ricardo and Ryan, so they are done for qualifying. So unless potentially Gramenos, Vader, or Alex have something to show for it, that will most likely secure pole position for S2K. Let's jump on board with him as he runs through the bus stop here. Still 2/10 up, but he might get a little bit distracted by Grez up ahead. No, Grez is going to jump out of the way. A great run through the bus stop for S2K. Didn't quite carry as much speed through the oval as he did on his previous lap, so he is bleeding a little bit of lap time, but he is still up by quite a large amount. Painting the left side tires on that WO line as he runs up to the line. It will be a 1:28.2, 3/10 faster than his previous lap, 4/10 up on the field. Can Gramenos do anything to find himself on the front row? 2/10 needed if he's going to put himself onto the front row of the grid, I believe for the first time in his career here in the Scorpio Super Formula Series. It's an improvement, but not quite enough. Larson will hold on to it for now. And I think that will complete qualifying. So that will be your grid. S2K leading Larson, Gramenos, and Ricardo, your top 4. Ryan will start up, will line up P5, Vader 6th, Alex in 7th, Grez in 8th, Quackadilly finds himself in 9th, Method 10th, Payme down into 11th. Not the qualifying he would have been looking for here this afternoon, but plenty of racing ahead to find his way up grid. Rybird finds himself in 12th, Supa in 13th. A really horrible qualifying for Supa, given the pace we've seen out of him in the opening 3 rounds of the championship. And then Guzman rounding out our grid for the time being in 14th. So it is Grez leading the way for the Simpulse group. Lining up in 8th, dropping 1 car from their roster from last round. And we will be ready to go in 3 minutes' time. While we wait for the drivers to make their way to the grid for the race, where am I at in my notes? There we are. So with the grid now set, let's take a look at our championship standings once again. S2K remains at the top of the table and extending his lead over teammate Ryan to 10 points. Supa has remained close behind at just 13 points back, with Larson 4th in points and 19 points back. Alex has remained in 5th place, despite missing the last round out in Fuji. But he is now followed closely by teammate Gramenos. Guzman is in 7th, Rybird 8th. Ekro is still in 9th after his podium in Bathurst. And Vader has jumped himself up into the 10th place spot in points after a very solid drive for himself in Fuji. Moving on to the team's championship, AMS has doubled their points lead now, 38 points ahead of new second place in the championship, or in the team standings, Foxhound, as Simpulse drops to 41 points back from AMS, and Scorpio rounding out our team standings 48 points back from the lead. There is still a very long way to go in the season, but it certainly seems the Apex group has set themselves as the early title favorites. But as history has shown us, they are not unbeatable. Let's remember back to the race here last season, where we were treated to one of the best fights all season between S2K, Ryan, and Nico. A constant back and forth battle between them all the way to the checkered flag, which saw Nico come out on top. And I know Ryan especially will be looking to finish one spot better and try to grab his second win in the series. And I'm sure S2K will also be looking for redemption after the spin that took him out of contention last year. 1 minute remaining until the green flag here today. 52 laps ahead of us at the World Center of Racing. And it should be an absolute titanic battle up at the front. So as we await final confirmations and get the grid ready to go here, I ask you viewers, can anyone hold the candle to the Apex Motorsport domination, or will they possibly crack under the mounting pressure? Only time will tell. And let's not forget, there is a tire war actively going on. AMS and their Bridgestone partners, can they find the pace again? Put on another tire wear display that the Michelin and Yokohama runners can't keep up with? Well, it's time to find out as drivers head to the grid. 52 laps, 180 miles. Who will see the checkered flag first here today? As the 5 lights come on, eventually. Any day now. There it is. 5 lights come on as we get ready from the World Center of Racing. It is lights out and we are underway. It is a great start from Larson as he is able to pull up alongside S2K immediately, trying to clear into turn 1. Graminos trying to put them 3 wide. He will fake it down to the inside and he's going to go for a spin. Graminos picking up a whole heap of damage, trying to make an aggressive pass to get up front. He's going to drop down. His car's way out of control, spinning in the background. That was Method. Looked like going for a very large spin. Paymay's picked up damage. A horrible start for the Scorpio group, going through turn 1. Larson out up front into the lead. That's why he got a good start. He's on the soft tires. S2K out starting on the medium. Both of them okay, having survived the turn 1 carnage. Ricardo as well on the mediums has found his way into third without damage, followed by Ryan and Vader. Foxhound, top 3 cars in the top 5. A fantastic start for them. Grez running 6th on the softs. Guzman in 7th on the medium. Alex is in 8th, but with rear wing damage. Supa has found his way into 9th, having just about survived the start. Rybird is in 10th, but with suspension damage on the right rear corner. Graminos has picked up a whole heap of damage. Front corner, front wing, and rear wing, all completely torn off. Paymay has picked up front wing and suspension damage. Method somehow clean of damage as Alex jumps into the pits to repair. And Crocodile with front and rear wing damage. Now these guys are going to be able to repair normally as per Gran Turismo standards in the pits, but they cannot take new tires, and of course they cannot add any fuel to the car. As Ricardo has found his way up into 2nd, he's gotten around S2K, and I believe for the first time ever in series history, it is a Foxhound 1-2 up at the front. A little bit of lag out of the Frenchman as he exits the infield road course, pulling out onto the oval, as Larson with a 3-second lead already on the soft tire, able to pull away from his teammate and S2K as they battle. As Ryan has dropped down to 5th. Grez on a charge on the soft tire. finding his way up into the 4th place spot. Ryan still leading Vader and Supa, as Guzman and Rybird hanging on to the pack as well. So they make their way through oval turns 3 and 4. Slipstream battle all the way down the front straight, climbing over 180 miles an hour. Back up toward the front, S2K has gotten back around Ricardo. I believe Ricardo might have picked up a track limit penalty through the bus stop, which is why he dropped so far back from S2K. Grez continuing to run ahead in P4. Ryan still under fire from Vader, using a little bit of the overtake button to try to pull away here through the infield. Section he was actually very strong in last season, even if it came at a detriment to his top speed on the oval. Vader still running P6, Supa in 7th, as Guzman seems to have settled in front of Rybird for the time being, and just about in the slipstream of teammate Supa in front. Method, the last of the cars who did not need to pit to repair damage, as that leaves Alex and Payme both on the soft tire to try to chase down the pack. Quackadilly on the medium, also having made repairs, and followed by Gramenos, both of them on the medium tire. Larson now out to a 3.5 second lead over S2K, excuse me, but those tires will be beginning to wear out rather quickly. The soft tire, a great tire for qualifying and a great tire at least to get started on the grid. But it's certainly going to wear out a lot quicker than the medium is. As we take a look from high above here at the International Horseshoe. As it looks like Rez has begun closing in on Ricardo up front. Again, those soft tires working very well for him to carve his way up through the pack. He has also burned off quite a lot of his overtake button already. Again, about 200 seconds of overtake for all these drivers to use over the course of the entire race. And GT7 really does need to sort out their online lag. It's very unfortunate what happened down at turn 1. Let's take a look and see if we were able to catch anything from the replay here. Try to jump on board with Gramenos when we pull this up, and we are unfortunately a bit late on catching it, so my apologies. Gap out front stabilizing at 3.5 seconds. Larson running a 130.1 to a 130.1. Both he and S2K out in front for the moment. S2K now pulling away from Ricardo. Is that Simpulse car growing bigger in the mirrors? Just 4/10 separating these two. So it looks like Rez is going to potentially have an opportunity to attack Ricardo here on the oval this time. Apologies for the lag, of course. Not really much we can do with the game settings, unfortunately. Oh dear, retirement from Alex already just 5 laps into the event, and he will drop out of contention. As Rez is going to fire one up the inside of Ricardo at the bus stop, and he will find his way into the podium places. Ricardo was very compromised going through there, and that's going to allow Ryan to get around him as well. Might have been better off to back out and let him go through. As actually, hang on, he's picked up front wing damage. Where on earth did that happen? I pressed the wrong button again. I meant to press the save clip moment, and unfortunately I've pressed the wrong thing. Ricardo has picked up front wing damage. I have no idea where from. It didn't look like there was any contact between him and Grez going into the bus stop, but that's about the only realistic place where that damage could have come from. That is Vader going for a spin. Somehow managing to save it as he comes out of the Western Horseshoe. That's going to drop him off the back of Ryan and into the clutches of Supa and Guzman. What on earth happened there? As you see, I actually pressed the correct button that time. So close up behind the back of Ryan here, going through the Western Horseshoe. Just ran it a bit wide, dropped the tire into the grass, and around it went. That's all she wrote for it. Very impressive to keep it out of the wall and not hit anything. And to have only lost one spot out of that, very impressive car control for Vader. Long way to go still, so plenty of time to go and try to catch up to either his teammates or Ryan. Or I should say Ryan and the rest of the leaders. Soft tires falling off for the leaders, potentially. Larson still running competitive lap times to S2K, but Grez has had a massive fall off on the previous lap, a second and a half down on what he had been running, and that's allowed Ryan to get up right onto the rear wing. Ryan sporting his Canadian colors as he runs out onto the oval into the slipstream. Half a second back as he will begin to close in on the run down to the bus stop. Just a dab of the brake on the way into the corner and immediately back out onto the power. Lost about a tenth through there, but given how much dirty air can affect these cars, that's pretty impressive to have only lost such a little amount of time. And now he's going to close right in as they enter the headwind, coming down into the first corner. Vader's picked up a time penalty, so that's going to relinquish 5th place to Supa and potentially 6th to Guzman, but I think he's just a little bit too far back to think about attacking Vader. Grez still holding on ahead of Ryan. A little bit wide through the International Horseshoe. That's going to allow Ryan to get a little bit closer as they run through the infield. This battle for third happening about 11 seconds back from the lead at the moment. Continue to battle their way across the oval. Slipstream such an important factor here today. Still dropping back from S2K at the moment. Gap now up to 6 seconds. As Ryan now closing in at a rate of knots here down the front straightaway, closing in under 3/10, under 2/10. Does he look to make the move into turn 1 here? He's going to peek to the outside. Grez going defensive. And Ryan going to think about trying to make a crossover move happen, but not going to be able to do it. No room for him. Going to look to the outside at the International Horseshoe. Not quite able to get the run off the corner that he would realistically need. Still very close to Grez at the moment as they go through the kink. This is just the beauty of the infield section here at Daytona. So many different lines for drivers to try and take to set up a pass. Unfortunately for Ryan, Grez has just enough of a drive off to be able to defend. But now he's all over the rear wing into the slipstream, using the overtake button to his advantage, and he's going to power it right around the outside of oval turn 2. And that will be Ryan up into third place now, ahead of Grez. As yellow flag is out, the car is stopped as S2K has gone for a spin. No damage on his car, fortunately, but he has lost a heap of time. Fortunately for him, he's going to be able to tuck right back into this battle for now second. Grez looking to try to get the move back on Ryan as they go into turn 1, side by side, as the two charge their way into the corner. 3 cars under a blanket, contact made. Grez trying to get tucked in behind Ryan, didn't realize S2K was there. And S2K will take over, or retake, the third place spot. Now needing to play defensive as the 47 looks to make a move around the outside into the Western Horseshoe. Not going to happen. But this slipstream battle is going to continue for at least a few more laps here. The question now is going to become how quickly is S2K going to be able to get around his teammate. We'll watch this battle. We will cut back and watch the replay, see what exactly happened to S2K that caused him to spin. Grez looking up the inside, trying to get up the inside into the bus stop. S2K with another big snap of oversteer, able to hang on to it. But that allowed Grez to get right back through him. Back end of the car just not very happy on that AMS machine, as Vader and Supa now beginning to close in on this battle. Now stuck behind Grez as his soft tires will continue to drop off here and cost him lap time. You really do have to wonder how much has this potentially put the race basically into Larson's lap here. Working lap 11 of 52 here. Still a long ways to go, but battling this hard and being 16 seconds back from the lead, you're already touch and go with how much time you have to try to catch up. S2K going to drop it down to the low side through the oval. Going to try to make the pass happen again. Draining a bit more of the overtake button to get ahead of Grez. Not wanting to battle him too much here. Staying to the inside, staying defensive, and he will fire it off into the bus stop. Now with over a half-second gap advantage over Grez, you would imagine that battle is finally over and done with. So let's take a look back, see what happened to S2K just a few laps ago that caused him to spin. It was already happening, coming through the bus stop. Just a snap of oversteer, probably used a little too much curb on the third apex. Just lost the car, unfortunately, and that's all she wrote for his chance at trying to close in on Larson, at least in the early running here. As you can see, Larson in the background already making his way back out onto the oval, boasting a 15-second lead over the rest of the pack at the moment. And managing his soft tires pretty well for the time being. Again, everyone required to run at least one set of the soft tires at some point in the race, and Larson putting his to good use for the time being. Tire wear proving to be not as much of a factor as it was last time out in Fuji. Ryan does seem to be managing his lap time to Larson fairly decently, still losing a few tenths a lap, but not costing himself too much time, especially now that he is in clean air and not battling with other people. S2K began to close in on his teammate, only running, actually ran a little bit faster than Larson that time by. As again, you saw Larson charging the other way in the background. As S2K continues to look to try to catch up to his teammate. Purple opening sector for S2K now, as he continues to close in. Battle for 8th. Ricardo was off the track, but that seems to be a bit of lag. Method in 9th. Payme has run off the circuit as he looks to hunt down Rybird for 11th. Gonna fire one up the inside, and Rybird looks like he's just gonna let him have it. Rybird actually hasn't pit yet to repair the damage he has to his right rear suspension. Costing himself a little bit of time at the moment with that damage, but seems to be making it, managing it decently well for now. So he's going to close back in on Payme coming up into the bus stop. I don't think he's going to look to make a move, and no, you saw him take a quick lift there to make sure he stayed in line through the Le Mans chicane and back out onto the oval. Battle for 4th potentially starting to heat up. Vader closing in on Grez. Both of them running the soft compound tire to start this race. Supa on the medium, so he should start closing in on them both now as the tires even out and the pace advantage falls to the medium tire. Now within a second of Vader. Currently running the high side of the banking. Looks like he's trying to just hold a very steady wheel, try to keep himself as much in the slipstream of Vader out in front. Potentially running a little more downforce, so car a little more reliant on being in the slipstream as Supa goes hard into the tire wall. What on earth has happened there as Larson jumps into the pits? Huge crash for Supa. So we'll ride on board with him, try to see what happens. Oh man, the back end just... He turned in for the corner and the back end just kept turning on him. Hard, vicious impact into the into that tire wall. Payme and Vader both into the pits here to get off the soft compound tire. 15 laps. That tire has now gone for most of these drivers. Jesus also in the pits and back out on the medium. Gonna find himself out behind Rybird and Method as they battle it out for what is now 6th place. So that now puts Ryan and S2K out into the lead for the moment. But they are only 2 seconds out in front of Larson here. Between S2K's spin and Ryan being in a battle with a lot of other drivers for that opening stint, that's allowed Larson to pull almost a full pit stop on the 2 AMS drivers. So what sort of teammate tactics do we see out of them if they're going to try to get one of their cars into victory lane here? S2K looking to the high side on Ryan. They're going to battle it out. No team orders. And a hard, clean fight between them. A clean overtake for S2K. Very respectful battle between the two drivers. As S2K sets off, trying to pull away from Larson here. All three of them setting purple sectors on this lap. Now Larson firmly into the slipstream of the two AMS cars. Guzman currently running in fourth, excuse me, at the moment. Still yet to make a pit stop here. Ricardo in the same boat as well, still yet to pit, as is Rybird running in 6th and Method in 7th. Grez, the second car who has already made a stop, Larson being the front runner, and Supa has retired from the race. Just a little too much damage after that vicious impact into the tire wall going through the bus stop right here. Man, I gotta tell you, that might have been one of the worst accidents I've seen in this series. Such a high-speed impact into that tire wall, and it came to a stop rapidly. Fortunately, it's a sim, so hopefully he's okay, but you would certainly hope if he's using a force feedback direct drive wheel that hasn't done him any actual physical damage to him. So Grez runs it a little bit wide out into the grass as he gets around Method. And Vader now looking to make the move, but he's going to run it off into the grass. That isn't lag. He is out there. Fortunately, oh, I pressed the wrong button again. We'll try that one more time. Nope, I've completely screwed that up again. Oh well. Vader just looked like he put himself into the grass trying to get around Method. Unfortunately, cost himself a spot to Gramenos. And he's lost a lot of time through that. Fortunately, no damage. A very light graze to the tire wall. But man, that's going to hurt his chances at finding the top 5 here today. Quackadilly still running 11th while we're looking back here, and Paymay now rounding out our field in 12th. Top 3 have fallen under a blanket here. Larson has gotten around Ryan. But crucially, he has also drained 3/4 of his overtake already. We are very slowly getting closer to the halfway point of this race, but we are still a few laps from that. So the question slowly becoming, is AMS going to attempt to try to pull off a one-stop here? Use their hopeful tire wear advantage at their disposal. Try to run long enough to just strap on the softs and go to the end. Because at this point, that seems to be their only hope at trying to pull off a win here. As they now run back behind Larson again. And they don't, and technically a full pit stop behind unless they're going to do one less stop. S2K closing back in on Larson, looking to the outside, not going to be able to make the move happen. Climbed up over 190 miles an hour with the slipstream assistance and a fairly strong tailwind as well. Wind direction shifting a lot once again as it's now become almost a dead headwind into the bus stop. S2K is now going to be under threat to try to stay as close to Larson as he can while still trying to save a bit of tire, if he wants any hope at trying to pull off a win here today. Ryan still just about within slipstream range. He's going to use the overtake button to try to close back in on his teammate. S2K very slowly starting to fall off the back of Larson. Those fresher tires going to work to his advantage as he finds 3/10 alone on just through the bus stop over S2K. Now Slipstream's going to kick back into effect. He does still have about a second lead though, so it's not going to be as strong as on previous laps. S2K still going to be able to close back in to about 8.5 tenths as we apparently have a battle for 7th. Gramenos and Grez going at it. Going to be side by side and coming out of NASCAR Turn 4. At 47, tucking back into the slipstream, trying to get a little bit closer, looking to make the move around the outside. Gonna tuck back in a little early. Thought about a crossover, but not going to be able to make anything stick. Gramenos still hanging on to 7th place for Scorpio at the moment. And Grez back out wide again into the grass, exiting the International Horseshoe. And even with these two battling as they are, there might have been a little bit of contact there coming through the horseshoe. They are, in fact, both still gaining on Rybird, again, who is still yet to pit. Ricardo also yet to make his stop, as are both the AMS drivers. And Guzman also still yet to pit as well. As that is Ricardo off the circuit, cutting through the grass in the bus stop. That's going to lose him a lot of time to Guzman, and potentially going to drop him back into the clutches of Rybird. Grez has gotten around Gramenos as well, but Gramenos going to look to the outside. A lot less downforce on his car, it seems. A little bit of wheel banging potentially, as Gramenos now back up into 7th. And these two just going to use the slipstream, battling back and forth. Contact, potentially. But they will hang on to it. And those fresher medium tires working to Grez's favor as he gets up into 7th. Let's take a look back and see what happened to Ricardo that he ran wide in the chicane. Or in the bus stop. Coming into the corner here, used a lot of curb, nearly the same accident as Supa. But what a save, incredible car control to be able to keep that thing out of the wall. Mega impressive that did not end spectacularly wrong. A little bit of lag that time going through the corner. Still keeping it out of the wall. As Rybird, despite the damage, still closing in. Had a much better run out of the bus stop. And this battle for 7th still continuing on between Gramenos and Grez. Gramenos trying to squeeze him up toward the outside wall. A little bit of contact again, and that is going to get him damage. He will pick up damage as Grez got into the back of him. Grez not picking up any front wing damage, it seems. As, that is Rybird spun out of the International Horseshoe. Everything kicking off here. see what happened to Rybird coming out of the corner. I just ran it wide, just lost it on that little transition where the curb falls away. Yeah, highly unfortunate for Greminos to pick up that rear wing damage. Nothing really of his own fault. It just trying to defend going into turn one, and between the lag and everything else, just got ran into the back of. And so now he will drop into the clutches of Vader. Vader going to be able to sail it right around the outside of Greminos with relative ease here, as we expect him to drop down below the double yellow line into the pits, and does. So this will be a pit stop to repair damage here. We're not expecting him to take any tires. Although certainly at this point it wouldn't be too surprising to see him decide to take tires here and then come back to repair damage. There's Quackadilly now also into the pits. And Greminos is going to take tires. A little bit of a delay, and he did repair damage, so I believe the stewards are probably going to take a look at that, because I don't believe he's allowed to repair and take tires in the same stop. So it could be a penalty coming Greminos' way here. And Quackadilly back out of the pits and onto the soft tire. Potentially looking to run a 2-stop to the end here. Running 2 sets of softs, having run the medium already. Meanwhile, back out front, Larson has pulled away once again from S2K. Now a 6.5 second lead. And S2K, again, still yet to make his stop. As we are getting toward the halfway portion of this race. Still not quite there yet, but getting close. I do also want to say kudos to Ryan. I know he's been talking the last couple of races about wanting to get finish closer to S2K. While circumstances have helped him out in that regard here today, he has certainly shown that he has the pace to keep up with his teammate here. Still running only 2 and a bit seconds off his teammate. Perhaps a little bit of a question for our statman. I'm curious to see, when was the last time AMS had 2 cars on the podium, but they did not finish 1-2? Guzman still running in 4th place for Simpulse as S2K finally jumps into the pits, as does Ryan. Not quite at the halfway portion of the race, so they are definitely on a 2-stop strategy, at least. Guzman now also into the pits. We would expect to see Ricardo in relatively soon, but he's going to stay out here once again. Vader has already made at least 1 stop today. And S2K out onto the soft tire, as is Ryan. Both of them crucially out ahead of Ricardo. And now they should fairly easily start to run away from the second running Foxhound driver. They will look to close up at least a little bit of that 24.5 second lead that Larson currently has. Larson consistently running in the 1:29s. 29.4 to a 29.4 to a 29.6. The last 4 make it potentially not quite 5 laps, all run in the mid 129s. Remarkable, consistent pace out of Larson at the moment. And I know through the first 3 races of the season, there were so many expectations to see Larson come into this series now looking to run full time. And everyone was saying, is he going to be the one to take the fight to S2K? It didn't seem to look like it. It looked like S2K had the measure on him in the opening 3 rounds of the race, but as things seem to be continuing to shape up right now, Larson is absolutely still has that magic pace that he showed last season. Looking to change the narrative that he is not the setup merchant he's been nicknamed. Certainly a great setup seems to be helping him out a lot here. Just so impressive how quickly he's able to take a lot of these high-speed corners. As the wind looks to be shifting once again, now up to a 22 and a bit feet per second headwind into the bus stop chicane. And S2K has taken out about a second out of Larson's lead this time around. And he has, without question, pulled away from his teammate. New fastest lap of the race, a 1:29.0. And that is about a second up on what Larson had run the last couple of laps, give or take a couple tenths. But it's not realistically a big enough of a jump in lap time to where you would think he might have a chance of catching him. Yes, there is still just under 30 laps to go here. But a 23-second lead, that is not something that gets erased in a blink of an eye. So, barring any issues, Larson does seem to have at least one hand on the trophy here today. That is a very fair point, though. Larson does have very little of his overtake left to use. S2K up another 2 tenths on his personal best, pushing every ounce of lap time out of those soft tires. And S2K still has at least 50% more overtake left to use than Larson as he goes, another fastest lap, 28.6. And that is over a second faster than Larson. But how long is he going to be able to keep up that pace? When do the soft tires start to fade? Obviously, we're expecting Larson to make at least one more stop here. We know the AMS drivers will need to make one more stop. The question is, do all 3 of them end up on the soft tire to run to the end? Larson also not seeming to take quite as much of the exit curb coming out of the bus stop that time through. We'll watch S2K here. Another 2 tenths up this lap. Evidently, he's heard me on the broadcast and he said, challenge accepted. He is pushing that thing. Lost a little bit of time through the bus stop that lap. But this is still going to be potentially another mid to high 28-second lap time. And 28.7, a tenth slower than his best, but still a second faster than Larson. And I don't think he's even used his overtake yet to set these laps. Possibly another thing we need to look at is the fuel burn. Larson has burned more fuel than S2K. So is Larson still in a position where he needs to save a little bit more fuel in order to make it to the end? Whereas S2K is going to be able to push at least a little bit longer. Again, 2/10 up coming out of the infield section. We'll see if he's able to actually maintain that delta time through the bus stop here. Lost a little bit of ground, so didn't quite have as nice of an exit out onto the oval. I don't think he's even using the brake through there, just a lift off the throttle. Still lost a little bit of lap time, but it's just as impressive through there. And I would imagine he's probably going to set another fastest lap of the race here. Ricardo currently has the fastest lap, stole it off S2K, 128.6. And S2K 0.05 of a second slower than Ricardo went just a few laps ago. Ricardo running in 7th as he currently chases down Grez, and having, I believe, just made the pass on Payme. So that would have also probably helped out Ricardo set that lap time if he was in the slipstream of Payme at just the right time. As he continues his hunt down, trying to get back up into 6th place. Gap is back under 20 seconds now. But if S2K realistically wants a shot at winning this race, he's going to need to keep up this pace all the way to the checkered flag. Great run through the bus stop that time. And yeah, he was able to keep the delta time that he's been looking for through the bus stop. And closing in at a rate of knots as he looks to hunt down Larson. He knows the spin earlier in the race cost him. Across the line, identical lap time to the one he set last time around. Another 28.650. And Ryan also running a very strong pace as well, is still running faster than Larson, but certainly not the second advantage that S2K seems to be finding. Ryan currently running very consistently in the very low 129s. Looks to be about half a second, maybe a little more, faster than Larson at this current point in time, as his tires starting to fall off a little bit here. We know his tires, his soft tires on heavy fuel at the start of this race went 15 laps. As he comes up to 21 laps to go here. So expect to see him in to the pits around lap 37 or so. Probably the end of lap 37 we would expect to see him in for the final time if he plans on putting on another set of the soft tire. Otherwise he probably needs to pit. Otherwise, if he does come in before then, might be going on to the medium. S2K thrashing that car, trying to make up as much time as possible. You can see just look at the lap times he's run. You can see those two blue lap times over on the right-hand side of the screen. Identical lap times. Identical personal bests. 2 laps in a row as he continues to chase down the Foxhound driver. Another 2.5 tenths up. Is he going to be able to hang on to it through the bus stop this time. Still, crucially, still hasn't used the overtake button yet in the pursuit of these lap times. Gotta be a little bit careful though, as now he starts to use the overtake button exiting the bus stop. Needs to be careful of track limits. A half-second penalty, even though it doesn't sound like a lot, that basically costs him a full lap of the progress he is making. Because yes, it's the half second of deceleration, but then it's also the additional time lost trying to get back up to speed from the time that he lost. Closing in just over 16 seconds is now Larson going to start to feel the dirty air of Method ahead as he looks to put him a lap down. He's going to get slipstream off Method here, which should help him for lap time for the time being. But this will potentially hurt him quite a bit going through the bus stop, especially on these worn medium tires. Half a second down on his personal best lap already. And that's before he's even gone through the bus stop. 7/10 down now. He is definitely losing time. The slipstream effect he's getting off Method is not counteracting the dirty air effect. Method will stay to the high side as Larson does come in a little bit earlier. And this could be the money stop here. 15-second advantage over S2K. The tires he puts on here could very well decide what happens to the end here. Does he go for a set of soft tires? He exits the pits and he's on another set of mediums. And he comes out right in between the two AMS drivers. Oh my. With the pace S2K has been running for the time being, he might be able to continue pulling away from Larson even though he is on the older tire. Larson has not been in the 28s, even on fresh mediums. S2K just realistically only needs to go a few more laps on these tires and he will be able to strap on another set of softs to run to the end. Ooh, he got very close. I don't know, he was very touch and go coming out of the bus stop. I would hope he doesn't pick up a time penalty here. I don't think he will. I think he was just about safe. And look at that gap. He is still pulling away. It is no longer the second to lap over Larson. As he did lose about 4/10 that time as his tires are starting to drop off. But critically, he is not losing time to Larson behind. The longer he's able to stay out on these tires, the better his chance, and crucially, he needs to be able to run these tires as long as possible while still being able to pull away from Larson. The longer he can do that, the better of a chance he will have of being able to catch Larson at the tail end of this race. As crazy as this might sound, I don't think he's out of it just yet. Ricardo is into the pits. Speaking of it, S2K sets another purple middle sector. Four seconds he has been able to eke out since Larson has come into the pits. Those soft tires have been able to hang on. I think Larson might have screwed himself over with strategy here. He didn't run long enough. If he just ran a few more laps, he would have been able to throw on the soft tires to run to the end. S2K will cross the line. It is a 4.1 second lead over Larson. Now, obviously, he absolutely still needs to pit, but he will have fresh, soft tires more than likely to run to the end and chase down Larson. And don't forget, he still has over 100 seconds of overtake left to burn. I think Larson's tires, now that they are fully up to temp, are going to start making some headway here. We are about 16 laps from the end of this race. This could be where S2K looks to come into the pits and make his final stop. He is no longer running away from Larson. If I was his crew chief on the pit wall, I'd be telling him, come into the pits this time. Don't pick up a track limit penalty, because that will absolutely screw him over here. As Ryberg does very well to get out of the way of Larson further back. He's only lost about 4/10 from the start of this lap over Larson. Does he peel it off into the pits this time? No, he is going to stay out on yet another lap. This will be 15 laps to go to the end if he pits at the end of this lap. It will be 15 laps on his tires if he comes in this time. That is all that separates the two leaders. Again, Larson is going to the end of the race here more than likely, unless something diabolical happens. S2K, however, seems to have still been able to pull away in this infield section. He's pulled that gap back up to about nearly 4 seconds, and actually has Payman Gramenos into the pits at the moment. He got a better run than Larson out of the road course. To the bus stop once again. Oh, nearly a step of oversteer again. That thing is on rails. He lost a lot of time needing to collect the car again. Surely he needs to come to the pits this time, and he will. Final stop of the day. You would have to expect he's going to need to throw on the soft tires if he wants any chance at trying to catch Larson. We saw Larson take his soft tires 15 laps at the start of this race. Fuel loads have burned off. S2K should be able to throw on a second set of softs here. Will he have the pace to close up and catch Larson? He is on the softs. Clean air out in front. And he will need a second a lap if he wants to catch Larson. Ryan is back out into third, just about ahead of Vader. Vader will more than likely need to make one more stop, though, in order to make it to the end. I don't think those medium tires will last. Guzman is back out of the pits and into 5th place. And he should be running to the end, so Guzman actually could be looking at a 4th place finish here. Would be potentially his best result of the season. I have to take a look to reconfirm that, but certainly a great showing from the Simpulse driver. And that is a great point made. This is really starting to turn out just like how it did last year between Ryan and Nico. Ryan was on the fresher tires and chasing Nico down. Got to his back bumper going into the bus stop on the final lap, but wasn't able to hang on to it, and ultimately couldn't make the pass for the win. Boy, howdy, this is going to be very close up front. Under 13 seconds already. We'll get a proper read for what lap times these two drivers are running next time by for S2K. But to be 12 and a half seconds back as he comes out onto the oval once again. 13 laps to go, yet another purple sector. He looks to be a second up on Larson, despite the fact they are both on fresh tires. It is just the fact that S2K has the softer compound on because he was able to run just that little bit longer to his final stop. Larson now also starting to deal with the dirty air of lap cars again. 29.5 that time by. As we watch S2K off the final corner. This will be the read. Over the line, 28.8 to 29.5. It is 7/10. It's not quite the full second. Will it be enough? Under 12 seconds left in between the top two in this race with 13 laps to go. S2K didn't quite get the opening few corners he would have liked on this lap. Still closing in little by little though. Starting to use the overtake to try to find a little more pace. Now nearly 9 seconds ahead of Ryan, who's also set the fastest lap of the race for himself. 28.1 last time by. But he is also draining his overtake to make that lap time happen. 0.2 up. Again, Ryan's going to be into the 27s in no time. So fast through the bus stop. 0.4 up this time by. Doesn't look, I don't think Ryan's going to be close enough or have the pace to be able to try to challenge Larson or S2K for the top two spots. But you would have to imagine that will be the fastest lap of the race from here out. 27.5, fastest lap of the race for Ryan. That'll be a bonus point coming his way. And don't look now, S2K nearly 10 seconds back. Larson much slower that time by as well. He lost over nearly a second and a half as he was navigating lap traffic. 30.8 to a 29.3. Under 10 seconds is S2K with 11 laps to go. That 0.7 of a second, that's all he needs. It might come down to the final lap, but he will have the pace to get there. The question will be, will he have enough overtake and tire to try to make a pass happen? And he cannot afford a single track limit penalty. 9.5 seconds as they come around to, now 11 laps to go. Ryan, 7 and a bit seconds back from his teammate. He's going to cross the line, and a 29.9 that time by, now that he's not using the overtake button. .2 seconds the gap out front. 9.1. S2K a little bit slower that time through the opening few corners. Making a few more mistakes now as the pressure starts to mount. Under 9 seconds now to the leader as Ricciardo comes back into the pits again. He threw on the soft tires. I think he was trying to go for another fastest lap. He's got the gap back to Quackadilly to make this stop. But unfortunately, I think that's going to take him out of contention from trying to fight with Gramenos for P8. 8.5 seconds now for S2K. Evidently, he found a lot of time through the back end of the infield road course section and through the bus stop to be up about a tenth on his personal best. Dropped a little bit of time on the exit of the bus stop. Using all the track and then some as he continues trying his best to close in on Larson, a little bit wide into the International Horseshoe. Potentially, yeah, it looks like he did lose quite a bit of time, just outbroke himself a little bit. Ambition over adhesion for S2K there. 7.5 seconds though, with 10 laps remaining. Grez comes into the pits from P8, and he is going to relinquish that spot to Ricciardo as he's actually picked up rear wing damage. Unfortunate for him. I think he might have had a bit of a spin, potentially backed it into the wall exiting the bus stop. So he will come back out of the pits, and that will give Ricciardo P8 back. And Larson, actually, you saw the chat message pop up. He's getting a little bit unhappy with the back markers again. That's Quackadilly in front of him. That's held him up quite a bit, it seems, through the bus stop. He's lost 1.3 seconds on this lap alone. 5.5 seconds. And I think, oh boy. S2K does not need much of a pace advantage anymore over Larson now. Half a second a lap would put him in range for the last lap. Maybe a little more now, as Larson got a much better exit, it seems. Quackadilly finally getting out of his way. So he fires it through the bus stop. Apologies, wrong button. S2K gaining another 3/4 tenths through the bus stop alone there. 4.5 seconds. He has absolutely got the pace. He's got the track position to try to pull this off. Will his tires hang on? Does he have the patience to be able to close in? He's 7 tenths down on his personal best, but he doesn't need to be putting in personal best laps. Larson is just up the road. He can see him going through the International Horseshoe. The only thing standing between him and Larson is Gramenos at this moment in time. And I think you're starting to see lap times falling off now, not necessarily because the tires are coming off, but just because of the track conditions themselves. Wind direction changing a lot once again, becoming a tailwind once again into the bus stop. Under 4 seconds. All that remains between the top two drivers. Can S2K pull off the spin and win? Expect to see that gap under 3.5 seconds this time through the bus stop. Got it down to 3.6 now that he's starting to come into Quackadilly's dirty air. Using a little bit of the overtake, he's into the slipstream of the back marker. Quackadilly's going to need to jump out of the way here, but the slipstream is really helping S2K to close in here. 3.2 as the blue flags start to fly. Quackadilly is wide through turn 1. That's going to give S2K a little bit of an inkling of clean air. This is where he's going to start to get held up. Quackadilly intentionally runs it wide, does very well to stay out of S2K's way. Near enough 3 seconds, and they are the next. Larson, excuse me, is the next car up the road. And we shouldn't see another back marker for the rest of this race. It will be a 1v1 dogfight. S2K with a slightly better exit, closing in a couple thousandths of a second at a time down this straight. He seems to have a little bit of a top speed advantage. Drops it down into 5th gear for the bus stop, fires it through. Tailwind not hampering him too much, only 2/10 down on his personal best, 2.6. All that remains with, I believe, coming up to 5 laps to go. They are right there in the same camera shot now. 2.5, 2.6. Running a slightly wider line through the first corner, trying to keep up momentum. Those soft tires starting to fall off. He does still have a pace advantage over Larson, but it is starting to fall. It is starting to fade. And as he gets closer and closer into Larson's dirty air, it will only compound that fact. 2.4 the gap. He gained another couple of tenths through the infield. Larson, though, with the better exit onto the oval that time. Shades of 2025 all over again. Only this time with 2 completely different drivers. S2K hunting down the Foxhound driver out in front. 2.3 the gap as he uses a little bit of overtake to try to close the gap again. 2.2 now as they start lap 48. Let's run on board with S2K as he hunts down Larson. Using the engine braking early upshift. A little bit of a snap of oversteer, but able to hang on to it. 1.8. He had a much better run through turn 1 that time than Larson. Brings it back to the inside for the International Horseshoe, using all the track to his advantage. 1.5. Larson's had a dirty lap. This isn't the pace he needs. It's not the lines he needs in order to hang on to it. If S2K can just get a little closer, he will feel the slipstream off of Larson. 1.3, S2K with a great run onto the oval. Into top gear, flying down the back straightaway at Daytona. He is into the slipstream now as they go into the bus stop. He's kept the car under him. Larson's had a horrible run out of the corner. Closing in. S2K 6/10 back as he closes in. This is the battle for the lead. 4/10 gaining over 185 miles an hour as he drains the overtake to the outside. Battling, drag racing into turn 1. S2K will take the lead from the World Center of Racing, and he will assume the lead on the softer tire. The spin and potential win are on the cards. He has made the pass with 4 laps to go. Larson had a snap of oversteer coming out of the bus stop, and that was all that it wrote. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, what story would Daytona write for us here today? Lads, we've been treated to a classic novel, an absolute historical drama, one for the history books. S2K spun early on in the running. He dropped nearly 30 seconds back from Larson at the midway point of this race. It seemed it was over, yet through tire strategy and sheer absolute pace, S2K finds himself back in the lead of this race. And as long as he avoids a track limit penalty, he has this in the bag. S2K still with over a quarter of his overtake left. Larson has none. And he's picked up the half-second time penalty. Larson pushing, trying to get back to S2K, has fumbled. He will drop back again, and that will right it. That will more than likely seal the deal for S2K. 2.5 seconds out in front with just 3 laps to go. Dare I ask if Ryan's able to catch? 12.5 seconds in just a couple of laps. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. My goodness me. Take a bow, S2K and AMS. What a comeback drive this has been. As he extends the gap to 3 seconds now. And as we wind down the laps, I also want to give a shout out. Vader, another astonishing performance seemingly out of nowhere once again, finding himself in 4th place and running well ahead of Guzman at the moment. Payme also with a great showing in P6. Please do not commentator curse him again. Gramenos in 7th for the time being. With a bit of overtake left still to use. Ricardo running in 8th. Don't believe he's going to have the pace to be able to catch Gramenos, especially with that snap of oversteer. Grez, unfortunate for him, picked up damage seemingly out of nowhere late in the running and dropped him out of contention for a top 5 in today's race. But running 9th as is still a very solid result. Quackadilly rounding out the top 10 for the moment. Method running in 11th and Rybird rounding out the field in 12th. These two currently battling to see who will not be last place. As Rybird's going to sail one around the outside of Method here going into turn 1. They are a lap behind the leaders, so I believe this will be 2 to go for them. As Method with a big snap of oversteer held on, just about held on to it. Unfortunately, picked up rear wing damage and will just about stay out of the way of the leaders. S2K working his way down the back straight as he will make his way through the bus stop for the penultimate time. White flag, next time by. They talk about what it takes to be a champion, how to succeed at such a high level of competition like this. Take a look no further. Sure, S2K has made a few mistakes here and there. I mean, of course, you have to just look back at the spin and ask what happened there. But to then go and see just basically flipping a switch to go and find 20 seconds of... I basically wrote him off for the win, if you go back. S2K seemed almost entirely out of contention for the win after that spin happened. He was a full pit stop behind Larson at the midway point of this race. Yet through sheer determination and absolute just skill and speed of that car, S2K has put himself back into position, and now all he has to do is navigate one more bus stop, and he will come home a winner at Daytona for what should, I believe, be his 11th career win in the Scorpio Super Formula Series. Careful to not wreck the car through the corner. He's still pushing, trying to eke out every bit of lap time he can. It's not going to matter to the field anymore. S2K rounds the final corner at Daytona. He will wave to the fans, and he will take home possibly his greatest win in the Super Formula Series. S2K wins it at Daytona. Larson will come home a very hard-fought second, and Ryan takes home yet another podium here at Daytona. My, oh my, what a race that was. Vader will hang on to it to come home 11th. Guzman will hang on to round out the top 5. We'll watch just to make sure Payme is good through the bus stop, and is, so he will come home in 6th. Greminos on track P7, but again, we saw him pit for tires and repair damage earlier on, so we'll see what the stewards have to say in regards to where he ends up after the fact. Ricardo will come home in P8, and he will be the last car on the lead lap as well. Grez P9, Crocodile P10, Rybird 11th, and Method rounds out our finishing field here from the World Center of Racing. My goodness me. Folks, if you have any questions for our podium sitters while I work on getting them into the VC for post-race interviews, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll try to see how many of those we can go through before the end of our broadcast here today. So don't go anywhere, folks. Go ahead and drop those questions in the chat, and we will be right back. Hello?
Hello, Blade. Oh my.
Alright, so before we start the interview proper, how's the heart rate?
My heart rate's through the roof. My heart rate's through
I
the roof.
I can only imagine after that performance.
Oh my god.
Holy mackerel. That might be one of the races of all time in this series.
My face is so red, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, I can imagine. Alright, we've got Drift King into the lobby now. I think we're
There
just
we
waiting
go.
on Larson.
I had to rejoin. I couldn't hear you guys at first.
All good. Glad to have you back. I think we're just waiting on Larson. Hopefully he's able to join us in the booth today. So yeah, if S2K, you want to invite him. In the meantime, Drift King, I think we'll start with you for the interviews for the time being.
Yep.
An interesting race today. I started off, you were able to survive whatever the turn 1 carnage was. It looked like Greminos had a little bit of a problem getting off the line, tried making a move that just wasn't on, and nearly caused a massive pileup, but they were mostly able to save it. And then you were stuck in a battle, it looked like, with Grez and Ricardo for a little bit. Can you tell us what went on from your perspective, especially in the opening laps of the race?
Yes, so on the start of the race, first of all, qualifying was not the greatest. They could have been better for sure. But I don't know why I was just a bit frustrated going in, so that's just how it is. But turn 1, from at least what it looked like for me, with your Menos, there's like an invisible wall on the inside on the left. It looks like he hit that. It was very hard to tell for me. I couldn't tell, but it looks like that's what he hit, and then that shot him out kind of laggy into me. I'm happy I didn't get damage from that, though. I was very grateful not to get damage from that. That would have made this race a lot harder than it should have been. But it's unfortunate that that happened, and I don't know why that invisible wall is there, but it is.
Well, moving on, we then saw you as you were battling with Grez at the moment. At the time, you were battling for P3. Ended up becoming P2 after an incident we'll get to a little later in the interviews. But can you tell us what was going through your mind when you saw S2K getting back up to speed after a sudden spin?
Yeah, I saw him go for. You told me he said he went for a spin, and I saw him like slow out of the bus stop, and it was just basically just asking him what side is he gonna hold. Like it wasn't really necessarily like too much of a reaction, but sorry. It was just asking like what side of the track he was gonna hold, so we didn't like confuse each other like where he was gonna be, and we didn't want to come together. But yeah, just simple with that. Spin to spin sometimes happens.
All right. And then obviously able to battle it out, fought your way onto a podium. Fastest lap of the race as well, so congratulations on that bonus point to be able to hopefully try to close in as much as you can or stay close to S2K at this point. Can you tell us what typically is your strategy when it comes to balancing out using the overtake button to try to go for a fastest lap and then also trying to catch up to the cars ahead? Did you feel like there realistically wasn't a chance of catching Larson, so you might as well just drain it, or?
Yeah, there was a point where it's like, okay, I'm too far back. I'm just going to drain it for one good lap, and I had a decent one before where I used like a little bit of overtake. That's where I got my first fastest lap. And then I was like, okay, I now know the limits, and then just basically drained all of it for the second one, and then that was the fastest lap of the race, which I believe was 27.5 or something like that. I don't remember the exact time, but
that was
it was a good lap, and yeah, I'm happy about that lap at least.
All right, well, yet another podium finish for you. Obviously, you had the reputation last season of finishing basically every single race on the podium. Haven't been able to do that this season, thanks to Bathurst. But still, yet another season where you seem to have a bit of a podium streak going for you. What can you say about just the level of consistency it takes to compete at this level?
It takes a lot of consistency for sure, especially with these cars that are kind of like the way you have to set them up to be fast. You're always on the edge of crashing or spinning. Like when you set these cars up, you want to set them up pretty like loose, I want to say, because if you make them too understeery, then you wear front tires and then you cause problems for yourself, and it doesn't really help you basically. So it takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice to get the setup in the car where you want it, and to know the layout of to get really fast at the layout of the track that you're running.
All right. Well, congratulations once again on the P3. Another fantastic result for you. Another great haul of points. So we will see you in a couple weeks' time at Road Atlanta, which I believe was another great track for you last season. So hopefully looking forward to that.
Thank you. I get to see my Canadian livery twice in a row.
And a beautiful livery it is. So glad to
Thank you very much.
see it on the grid.
Again, all credit goes to Conrad for that. I just edited it, so.
All right, will do. Congratulations once again. Unfortunately, it looks like Larson has declined interviews once again, so we will move on to our race winner, S2K. Well, first off, I guess we'll jump into the question the chat had for you. Do you believe your dominance could bore fans?
I'd hope not. I hope that race actually entertained some people. I was every lap, I was just like looking at the gav, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna oh my god, I can't even speak. It's gonna come so close down to the line, and I'm like, it's still possible. Even when I was like 25 seconds back, I'm like, it's still possible. Like, come on, let's just keep pushing. And then, oh my god, yeah, I didn't really expect to close that all. I was just being really over optimistic, but Man, what a race. I hope I didn't bore you guys out.
I will say, of all the wins that you have achieved in the Scorpio Super Formula Series, that has to have been one of the most entertaining. I know we had a lot of back and forth battles in some of the later races last season, but this one in particular, my goodness. Obviously, we'll discuss whatever happened with the spin early in the going, but to be over a pit stop behind Larson at the midway point of the race and then to still claw back and not just barely beat him, you beat him by almost 4 seconds at the line at the checkered flag. It's just an absolute insane display of not just car control, but consistently fast lap times. I don't think you ever left the 28-second lap time in that middle stint on the soft tire.
I mean, that middle stint, I knew that middle stint was the most crucial because I thought he was going to go soft, medium, soft. So I knew I had to take advantage of his kind of worn out medium stint. So I'm like, okay, I have to close in the gap. And I think I closed in like 10 seconds. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I closed in 10 seconds, only I went on a worn medium. So I'm like, okay, this next stint, like, he really needs to mess up because I was under the assumption he was going to go on soft tires. But then he ended up going on the medium, and I'm like, hold on. Okay, like, I still have this, I still had the chance. Chance was very slim, but I still just kept my head in the game. And, he comes on the medium tires. I pull a little bit of time on him. I get the gap to around like 3.5 seconds when I come into the pit lane. And then just after that, I mean, relentless. I was like every single corner. I was looking for every little bit of time. I mean, maybe you saw me go a bit wide in the International Horseshoe. I mean, I was doing everything I could and, ended up winning. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, we did. I will say we did catch the slight detour at the International Horseshoe with a few laps to go, but then the following lap we saw obviously Larson was on the medium tire, then got potentially held up a little bit by a back marker as well, which you were able to get down to 5.5 seconds with just a few laps to go. Do you think that, and I'll tie this into the question someone else in the chat had, just regarding your guys' tire wear, which once again seems to have, you've been able to pull a strategy blinder on the rest of the field. How are you guys able to, A, manage your tires so well and yet still eke out such excruciating pace out of these cars, and then to be able to do it lap after lap after lap?
It's the Bridgestones. I'm joking. It's not the Bridgestones. It's really it is. You have to. I think I said this even last week or 2 weeks ago at Autopolis. If you take care of the car will take care of you. And if you ask too much of it, it will hurt you in the long run. And when I start off the stint, like on the medium stint, for example, I was taking my tires relatively easy. I wasn't necessarily pushing the limit. I wasn't going all the way out towards the exit of the track, minus the bus stop. I was doing my best to just kind of keep my car in check, keep me in check, be under a limit in a sense, and it just the kind of effect that you get from doing that is just better tire wear. That's how I see it. Some people have tried using that theory and it doesn't work, but really you have to understand how to drive the car, take care of it, it'll take care of you. And yeah, I hope that answered the question that was asked in that chat. So yeah.
All right, and then one final question. I suppose we'll ask this to the both of you. Obviously, so much talk today about how tricky the bus stop is, not just for track limits, but then also to get through it quickly without wrecking. As we saw, obviously, S2K, you had your spin on the exit, but then we also saw quite a few drivers have a little bit of trouble on the entry to the corner as well. We had Ricardo on the entry nearly loop the car on the turn back to the right, ended up needing to take to the grass. But then possibly the biggest talking point coming out of the bus stop here today, Supa having a absolute massive shunt into the tire wall, turned in for the corner, and the car just never stopped turning on him. Can you tell us what that might have potentially happened to him?
I'll try to get my best insight here because that's what happened to me, but I counter steered the other way, so it would not pin me into the wall and luckily not get damaged. But initially, if you want to take that fast, some people will actually cut the grass to maximize their entry, and what that kind of does as second hand is you get a little bit of grass on the tires, and when you have such a fast directional change, you know, first off, your tires are getting rid of all the grass on the tire. Second thing, you're demanding so much more out of the tire because if you feel like you're turning like not too like if you feel like your car's not turning enough, you're gonna kind of ask more of it. And if you turn too much and go over a bump, like your car's just gonna slide like it's on ice, if that makes sense. So I'll try to break it down again into simpler terms. If you try to turn the wheel more while going over a bump, your car's gonna get really unsettled, which in that case, which is why his car was unsettled and went straight towards the wall. That's what I'm assuming, and that's what happened to me at least. But I was able to save mine. But yeah, I don't know if Ryan has any other insight to that. But yeah.
And Ryan, did you have anything to add on that?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear what the question was. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. We were just talking about the bus stop and how difficult it can be for drivers to navigate their way through. Case in point being Supa, unfortunately losing the back end of his car on the entry and absolutely clobbering the inside tire wall at, I believe it was over 150 miles an hour on impact.
Yeah, that sounds like that would not be good for sure. But at least the main thing that would happen with me, like through the bus stop that I felt made it tricky was the changing wind. The wind made it very difficult to like judge it because every time the wind had like a slightly different angle, you were either changing your entry point, turn-in point of the for the corner, or you were backing up the braking, or there were sometimes even like on fresh softs with the high like 20 feet per second wind that we had, pushing us like headwind onto the bus stop. We were almost taking it flat. So it really depends on the wind conditions, in my opinion.
All right. Well, once again, great insight from both of you. Congratulations once again. A double podium, not a 1-2 this time, but still a very great result for you both nonetheless. Again, another race where AMS continues to build on their already ginormous lead in the team's championship. So I'm sure you two are both very happy about that. As for the drivers, of course, SUK, you're going to continue to build on that lead, but Ryan, you're still very much hanging into the mix. And with still a long way to go in the season, it should be a very exciting battle all the way to the end. So, folks, that will do it for us here today. Thank you all so much for tuning in and, of course, dropping your questions for our podium sitters here in the chat. Be sure to tune in a couple weeks' time as we head over to Road Atlanta. Another one of the greatest races we had in the entirety of last season. Of course, that battle between Ryan and Nico was just an absolute spectacle to watch. So very much hoping that we get another similar battle, perhaps between the two teammates here. And, maybe also we get someone else to win for once, perhaps. But either way, thank you all so much for tuning in. I've been Scorpio Blade. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you in a couple weeks, and goodbye.